just after they lost to none other than the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round of the playoffs. The Dallas Cowboys have just made a huge decision. A decision that will no doubt completely change their offense from now on. That's right. They announced that they have mutually parted ways with their offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. This news is pretty shocking, and the reason why Moore decided to leave just might surprise you. Here's why the Dallas Cowboys really fired Coach Kellen Moore. First off, this news may be a bit shocking to some. Why? Well, particularly because he's had a few pretty great seasons with the team, and has almost always succeeded in getting the Cowboys to rank top 10. When Moore took over the Cowboys offense in 2019, they managed to rank 6th, 17th, 1st, and 4th in terms of points scored for each of his 4 seasons. And when their ranks slipped all the way down to 17th, most sports fans and critics didn't really hold it against him. This is because in 2020, when they ranked that low, Dak Prescott had gotten a super serious ankle injury in Week 5. So to say that the reason their score rank failed so much in 2020 is because of Kellen Moore wouldn't really be fair. Now you can probably imagine the shock on fans' faces when they found out that he would not be returning this time around, right? But what went into that decision? And since it was a mutual decision, is there any bad blood? Well, to understand this a little better, we first have to set the scene and go back to everything that was happening around January 2023, when the news broke. To start off, Prescott happened to also miss some time this season, but it wasn't as catastrophic as the last time. The Cowboys still maintain really favorable numbers on offense, seeing as they had Cooper Rush in charge. They managed to score over 20 points across 4 games in which Rush was the starting player. They kept on playing pretty well even after Prescott made his return. They scored at least 40 points 3 separate times from Week 11 to Week 16. Although it wasn't all completely perfect. Prescott got a bit of heat for throwing interceptions after returning, but he still turned in an untouchable performance when the team went against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers during the wildcard round. So everything seemed to be going pretty okay, right? What could possibly go wrong? Well, the team lost to the 49ers in the divisional round of the playoffs. And after that, team owner Jerry Jones decided on keeping McCarthy for another season. Moore wasn't among the first coaching cuts the team made, but McCarthy did say he was still making his final decisions. Then, the decision came. After continuing through our end-of-season review process and having additional discussions, Kellen and the Cowboys reached a mutual decision to part ways. Yep, it was a mutual decision to part ways though, and Jerry Jones said that he knew Moore was looking for a fresh start, so he gave it to him. Which is pretty nice, although he did well with the Cowboys. But there was one thing that fans really weren't thrilled with. In getting rid of Kellen Moore, they handed over responsibilities to Mike McCarthy, which some fans think may have been a mistake. He already controlled a large part of the team as head coach. What more progress could be made if he has even more power? But with that being said, some fans didn't seem to mind the transition, although they were still sad to see Moore leave the team. So that just leaves one big question. Why did Kellen Moore leave the Dallas Cowboys? Was it really as simple as the fact that he wanted a change, or is there something larger at play here? Actually, it seems like that may be it. He was looking for a fresh start. After such an unsuccessful end to their last season, they needed to try a new strategy to get ahead once again. And since Moore was apparently looking for an escape from the job at the same time, it seems only natural that they would part ways. Both sides wanted to change. But is this the change that the Dallas Cowboys really need? As I mentioned, the team actually had a pretty good season in 2022, when Moore was last with them. But nonetheless, some fans still think it was not enough. It should have been better, seems to be the general consensus among sports fans when it comes to their offense during the 2022 season. So that just begs the question, will it get better without Moore? Apparently McCarthy has big plans for the offense, but he also says that most fans may not like it. What kind of drastic plan could he possibly have? It's worth noting that the Dallas Cowboys have since announced that Kellen Moore's spot has been filled with Brian Schottenheimer. But just what does McCarthy have planned? According to him, he wants to run the damn ball so I can rest my defense. He made it pretty clear with his statement that he prefers to lean on the running game more. So we can most likely expect a new strategy where the players run the ball more and probably cutting down on their turnovers from last season as well. Now you may be wondering, if McCarthy has had this genius plan for the Cowboys all along, what does he have to say about the way Kellen Moore was playing the game? Well, he actually has since commented on his time spent with Moore as offensive coordinator. He spoke pretty highly of his former coworker, saying that Moore did an amazing job and kept on improving throughout his last 3 years. But he also said that they clearly have their differences, especially when it comes to strategy. But although they do have their different approaches to the game, it's nice to hear that there isn't any bad blood between them. Plus, Moore left on his own accord to pursue other opportunities in the NFL, so it's not like he was ruthlessly fired or anything. But you may be wondering, what happened to Kellen Moore after he left the Dallas Cowboys? What is he doing now? Fans of Moore will be happy to hear that he's actually already got a new job with the Los Angeles Chargers. Yep, it looks like he's going to be taking up the exact same position he had with the Cowboys, only this time it's with the Chargers. Pretty interesting, especially considering that the Chargers announced they had come to terms less than 24 hours after the Cowboys announced that they would be parting ways with Moore. Naturally, this made a lot of fans question whether or not there really was something going on behind the scenes. And honestly, can you blame them? The past few years, Moore has actually been in communication with quite a few different teams for a head coaching position. The list includes the Eagles, the Vikings, the Dolphins, and the Panthers. All those teams have reached out to him throughout 2021 and 2022, but nothing was ever set in stone. And until we saw how the Cowboys ended the last season, it was a bit of a surprise that he was gone for good. But most fans of the team are relieved to see him go so that the team can try out a new strategy. The Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Chargers will be having a face-off at SoFi Stadium during the 2023 regular season. Until then, fans are on the edge of their seats waiting to see what Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy have in store for their teams. Hopefully, all goes well. That was why the Dallas Cowboys really fired Coach Kellen Moore.